Jamie. Welcome to this Buzz interview, my man. Nice speaking to you. Always grateful for people that give our time to us, man. First of all, how have you been? Has it been hectic with the release of Han Solo so far?
It was for a little while. It was fuzzy, because you're like, oh, it's out.
Yeah.
and then it took me a couple of days to kind of relax and then go back to it and be like, okay, cool, we did it. And I'm really proud of it. And it's being received quite well, actually.
Oh, it has. I mean, we're talking nearly on 400,000 hits. The like ratings alone have been absolutely amazing. The comments below that have also been really great to see. I mean,
very encouraging. Very encouraging.
Well, it is. I suppose it gives you and your team kind of a bit more, boost to kind of carry on with extra bits and bobs and push something else to the forefront, which we'll talk about a bit later. Let's start off with Star Wars. Let's start off with where it all began for you. Where did you watch? What Star Wars did you first watch, and where did you watch it?
Let's see. I remember when I watched the first trilogy. It was when I was being babysat. I was probably 7 years old or younger at my friend Dan Miller's house, and I fell in love. Just that initial intro where Vader busts in, and it's being it's like crazy. Even for movies that were made way back then, they obviously stand the test of time. And I was watching on VHS. Them for the first time, and when it's when that big ship is just coming over, and chasing, over the screen, and you're like, this is an epic movie. This is going to be big, and as soon as Vader busts in, to come get the plans from the rebels, oh my gosh, I fell in love, and I was just like, this is a whole nother world that I am believing, and I like it.
Star Wars is such an immersive world as well, ain't it? You get sucked in to that parallel, and then you're kind of like, right, where are we going? It's like a tunnel. We're going to go left. We're going to go right, and you fall in love with the characters as well, and that's what I love about it as well. It's not just about it's not about a film kind of sense. It's about a connection with the characters as well, which I find absolutely amazing. There is certain franchises. Let's talk Harry Potter. They've got that down, haven't they? Really, you fall in love with the characters, and then it's sprung onto them to get all the sequels that they did. Very good indeed. I mean, what is your kind of favourite Star Wars film?
I think my favorite is literally. It has to be Empire Strikes Back. There's just so much going on, and it's the one that really took it to the next level. I was just like, oh, this goes a lot deeper than I thought. And we brushed on it in A New Hope when Ben Kenobi's in the hut talking about the old days. And you're like, I want to see some more of something about those old days. And you get more of it with Yoda. And you're like, oh, this is just so much bigger. And it's just so layered. It's just like, this is huge. Awesome world, great characters, blah, blah, blah. But it's also within that whole huge galaxy thing, this underlying, huge theme of the Force. And it's just dropped on you even more in Empire. And I love it. And I love all things Han Solo in that.
Yeah.
And you kind of get more of his background feel with Lando and, what adventures they may have had, and you just get more of I don't know, I think you get more of that Millennium Falcon fun in that one too, so I love it for so many reasons. And of course the love stories, awesome.
That underlying love story is kind of, to me, kind of when Han was trying to hit on Leia for that first time, it was in kind of The Empire Strikes Back. It was a bit in The New Hope, I think, but then The Empire Strikes Back.
It was on the edge, it was on the edge, and then Empire Strikes Back, they're like, oh no. Yeah, we got to make that strong because we're making Luke her brother.
I mean, like you said, the love story, the kind of brother-sister connection, the friendship connection, every single element in these Star Wars, it's just everything's there for the taking. That's what I love. I mean, have you got any favourite scenes from any of them?
Also, oh my gosh, so it's you know, when you watch A New Hope, you're like, wow, this is big, you know, and like the Death Star, all these things are like, holy cow. Well, my next big holy cow, Empire Strikes Back, you see the guy like looking through his scopes on Hoth, and he zooms in. You see just one big leg step in, and it's AT-AT Walker, and you're like, yes, I didn't think it'd be, you know, I didn't think it could just make things bigger, and they did. It was just so cool, and I don't know, there's just the intimidation of the Empire is way prevalent, you know?
Oh, I love it. I mean, the Empire is always intimidating. I mean, you think, like, you just see a stormtrooper, you see the Death Star's massive, and then, like, from A New Hope onto Empire Strikes Back, like you said, you get the walkers, and then there's this massive assault on the walkers. I mean, I love that scene when he's flying around. He ties that legs up, and then that's it. He's in, cuts the body in. Do you know what I mean? Oh, just epic stuff, man.
It's so good.
It is. It just brings just nostalgia, ain't it? It's nostalgia.
It really is. It's the definition of a lot of movie magic, and it really just went that step further of Star Wars. Obviously, as we can show right here, brings so many people together. Like the international fan base is crazy, and
mad.
It's just that in itself is just amazing to see unfold. And I think that movie took it even further with all that. You know,
wicked. Let's go on to Rogue One. You seen it?
Oh yeah.
Go on. What's your verdict? Did you love it?
I loved it. I am not ashamed to admit I teared up several times in that movie.
Yeah.
I was just moved. As a movie, too, as these brilliant foil characters where I actually cared for when things happened, and without spoiling, but I loved it. I just...
Oh, it's so good, and like the Easter eggs in that as well, I absolutely loved. I'm not going to give nothing away, but the Easter eggs kind of brought the nostalgia back, and it kind of brought you into a sense. You are actually watching a Star Wars film. You're watching watching what they call a Star Wars story, but you're still watching Star Wars, which, you know.
Yeah, in my mind, that was a lot of Star Wars. I mean, that was more Star Wars than I actually think some of the other movies have. You know, it's like, well, it's like that's Star Wars. You know, that's what's.
I mean, I loved that. I went to the midnight showing over here. We got it it was like a day early, wasn't it, Dale? We got it here. So we watched it on the midnight. Did you go to the midnight showing, or was you kind of like, we'll let it calm down a little bit and then we'll get to the cinema to watch it?
Well, I lucked up. I have my good friends over at Fandango hooked me up with an early screener, so I got to see it the Monday before it came out for here, Thursday night, midnight.
Oh,
so I got to see it that Monday before, and it took everything in me not to just shout everything across the internet, but yeah.
I bet you was bursting, absolute bursting.
I saw it with a good friend of mine, and it's a good movie when you can sit there and just talk about it for like 2 hours straight right afterwards, and you're laying all your theories out, and you're like, did you catch that? Yeah, because that connects it to that, and that. And you're like, ah.
It is though. I mean, that's what we've done. As soon as we'd finished watching the film, it was like 3 a.m. and then we went straight in to do our movie review on the Weekend Buzz, and it was just pouring out of me what I wanted to say, and I just went on a little rant for like 10 minutes, just like what I thought of it, what I loved. I mean, I loved the opening scene, like the black. You know, the kind of the black sand with the kind of natural green grass, and it's wet and it's like it's proper farmland. The cinematography alone in that first kind of scene was so breathtaking, and then you just get, you know, a dash of the Empire. We'll give the Death Troopers. They come storming in all in black, and then you just get a lovely white, you know, Empire figure just comes straight into that forefront, and then you're just like. Wow. And I mean, for a main character, you know, for the Empire, I absolutely loved him. I thought he was amazing. Great actor.
Oh, yeah. I'm a fan of Bloodline, so I was a fan of him stepping up and taking that role.
Yeah. So do you think he fit the bill well? You wasn't surprised with how well he'd done in that. You was kind of just like, yeah. Well, I knew from there that he'd nail it.
Oh yeah, no, he was great. That first scene, it was probably hard for him to do it, because he's probably he's probably used to so dramatic, but also wanting to carry that over for the Rogue One story, but he didn't want to probably be too cheesy with his I don't even know what kind of dialect it is within UK, but the Death Star, that kind of more of the kind of play it more. Not too over the top Britishy, the Empire.
I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. He fit the bill so well, and I absolutely loved it.
I loved it. Yeah.
Oh. Well, let's get on to your short, the YouTube short, Han Solo: A Smuggler's Trade. Let's start with the beginning. Let's paint this picture. How did this start?
So, a good friend of mine was a writer. He knew where my head was with what I'm trying to, start doing more of, which is higher quality entertainment and up my filmmaking skills and just want to provide some better content out there. And anyways, he said, well, hey, I've got this Han Solo fan film, idea, and he pitched it to me. He showed me an outline script. He wrote a first draft. And I said, yeah, that's awesome. And so I bought the script from him and then started piecing it together, putting the puzzle together, and got some other guys that were really, interested in that subject matter and wanting to do the same thing. Fortunately, the puzzle pieces started coming together, and people like Keith Allen were on it very early, and we met at VidCon, and I had kind of talked with him, and we were already brewing other certain fan film ideas back then. Yeah. But we wanted to do that one first. And so, we started working it out and putting a team together, and it was a long, fun journey, but not too long if you think about it, in the scheme of things. But it was certainly a joyride, getting it all together and talking about it, getting hyped on it, getting more drafts into it, and like kind of forming a fun little adventure,
So you kind of had this draft written out for the fan film. Did you have any kind of creative control in that as well, into the script? Did you kind of sit down and was like, I like it, what about if we add this? Did you all kind of just sit down in a room and kind of just thrash that out?
Yeah, so over a period of a couple weeks, we would continually, and even up until close to shooting, we'd have some little ideas here and there. But I'm not as much of a writer as Keith and Jared Bell, who ended up helping polish it. And I'm the kind of guy that's like, let's talk about it, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, that's great, or oh, that might not work. Let's try this instead. Go play with it, kind of thing. And then I kind of help with the forming of it, but for the most part, I step away for writing and stuff like that. I just kind of offer the general ideas and little nitpick things that can help it.
No, help it along, certainly. So let's talk about Indiegogo, because you went on to getting the funding together and stuff like that. Was it an idea that you all had to kind of go for kind of crowdfunding, or was it a case of we've put some in, let's see if the fans want to have their input into it?
Yeah, so none of us had won the lottery recently, and
sadly, Jamie, sadly,
yeah, we were counting on it, But no, so we knew pretty early on that we were going to want to crowdfund it. One, because we said, well, we may as well play to our advantage as social media influencers. We had following, and so it's very nice when you have that and put a crowdfunding out there, because you got a nice crowd,
Yeah.
And we took those steps, and Tim Lim is a good friend of mine. He went to the same film school I went to. He helped us with our Indiegogo. He and I kind of spearheaded the Indiegogo stuff. And then we actually had a great contact at Indiegogo. I'm going to mess his name up if I don't look at it. But he's a brilliant guy. Let me make sure I got him right here. I'm going to get the name too. Oh, John T. Trigonis, I think is how you say his name. He was a brilliant contact at Indiegogo because he's in the film department there. We're trying, whenever you go to the film page for Indiegogo stuff, he's helping with all that. And he helped us get something that looked right, because that's a very big thing. That's actually a huge thing. I would love to get out, is making it right from the beginning, even before you have anything visually up. You got to make sure you're looking professional. You got to make sure you've crossed your T's and dotted your I's, and because then people go, okay, you're not just a couple bums that are going to try to do something that you can't. And so that kind of little stuff helps buy you some trust early, and so he helped with that, and of course Tim Lim did as well. But yeah, those kind of things are very important when you're trying to get people to believe in something that you've never done before. So that was very important, and of course we went out to Joshua Tree and shot just a very rough, but actually turned out looking pretty good, a rough test footage teaser. Way months prior, and it turned out to be something enough that a lot of people were intrigued.
I loved it. I see that test footage when it was all starting and when he was all coming up, and being a fan on Facebook of yours, when everything was starting to come into place, and then you was flicking to and from Indiegogo to see what was going on, because you had the updates as there as well, what was going on, which was brilliant. The footage was kind of like it kind of got me wanting more, and it kind of got me intrigued into like, where are you guys going to take this and where are you going to go with it? And it was that whole story, from the start to end, is absolutely brilliant. Were you afraid at any point that you wouldn't get the funding, or you wouldn't get to that magic target that you put on there?
We didn't know. We just stepped out on that branch and just prayed it didn't break. We just were like, okay, let's give it a try. But yeah, that's how this business goes. You just kind of take a risk. Even what you guys do, you just risk, and you do it because you love it, and you're just like, all right, well, we hope people believe in it too, and fortunately they did. People stepped up to the bat and said, all right, I'll throw $1 to see what you guys are cooking. Yeah, that's it. And fortunately, we delivered. That was my biggest fear. Is I'm like, gosh, what if we get all this, this money, and then we don't deliver something, worthy. But I do think we achieved it. So
you certainly did. You certainly did. So let's talk a bit about the team behind this whole thing, because it's not just Jamie and this other guy doing a fan. Let's talk about everyone else behind the scenes. So
yes,
you had yourself, you had the director. Tell us a bit about them all.
Yeah, so I'm a small part of this whole thing in the scheme of everything. I of course, was a fun seller as Han, and then of course I wanted to spearhead, making it happen, if you will, and getting the funds and stuff like that. But other than that, we had so many people that played so many big roles in making it happen. I'd be all day if I went through everybody. But, a lot of those other big key players, Keith Allen, who was the director, but also a producer, also a writer, and an editor on it. Yeah. He did awesome. And this was a first kind of film for him, too. He's done a lot of parody work. He's done a lot of other things that people wouldn't, if you offered him up, in front of a bunch of folks at first, it would be like, if you said it, how about this guy, well, we haven't seen him do anything like what y'all are wanting to do. And then, but, I knew he had it. I just talking with him and seeing his, skills behind the camera and stuff like that. I just knew the passion and the talent was there. And, anyways, him, David Oakes, oh, that guy is an ox. I mean, he is just a man's man, and he was so cool. He was so awesome. He was big on every part of producing it, and so it was the three of us for a while. Then we brought on Jaden Gautier, who was an executive producer. He helped with the funds, with finishing off some extra funds. He and I kind of put the extra stuff on top to make it happen, and get it to where we knew it should be. And then, and he's a great guy. He's produced a lot of fun stuff with Zach King. He's a manager with him, and of course, Zach King puts out a lot of cool stuff. But they've got a lot of, no pun intended, magic going on over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a big pleasure to work with him. And then it was really awesome when we scored getting Chris Kemlin for our DP. He's put a lot of movies out in theaters and stuff, and just somebody like him to step down and work with us, oh man, it was brilliant. It was really cool. And of course, later down the road, when we start piecing it together and get even people like Doug Jones to act in it and stuff like that, and these guys are taking, way less pay cut than they're used to, and it was just we were so fortunate to have people work for what they did and put in the efforts that they did. I mean, it was just like you could tell they were like 110%, not just like, oh, I'm going to get this out of the way and just, we're all friends, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No, they were like, it's game on, we're going to give it 110%, and it really pays off. It really does.
Oh, it just sounds amazing that you're with a group that are just so creative and so focused and are willing to just put everything on the line to create something so magical and for for a fan base that's just so large and appreciative of everything that comes out on social media about Star Wars. Hats off to you.
Yeah.
Man. Really, hats off to you all, man. You really did pull it off. I loved it. I loved the shot as well in the desert, where it was pitch black and you kind of had that sci-fi element, where you were just there pondering, and then all of a sudden you looked to your left, and then that spaceship just come up and then went. Very classic sci-fi. For me, it was kind of Alien in a sense. I really loved it. Really loved it, and I was kind of just like, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. We had the speeder bike. Now we've got just this little taster of something out of space,
Yeah.
So how?
Yeah, we had.
No, go on, Jamie. I'm going off on a tangent here.
No, go for it.
No, I mean, like I said, I was just literally going to say, like, I mean, how did that shot come about? Like, was you all just sitting around going, you know what, like, we need to show like Han in a bit more depth and see where we can take him, with his personality, what he's thinking, what he's all about, rather than just being, oh yeah, we know Harrison Ford's, rendition. Now we want to see Jamie's. So how did it come about, the scene?
Yeah, so that was fun to have in there for so many reasons. But one of the biggest things for me, it was so cool to see something that was from the first outline and draft.
Yeah.
Sneak in, because that was way back, and that's what drew me to that script a lot. And the idea, when it was pitched to me, I saw him dip in at that moment in the script, and I was like, oh, that's cool, to go take it to another little level with Han, and really dive in a little bit on his, emotional, stuff going on back then, and his loneliness and his, he's got his one buddy. If he loses him, what else does he have? Well, maybe he'll go join that devil cause. Who knows? Whatever. And just all those kinds of thoughts going on when he's out there by himself and sees that ship go up, and that can mean anything. We were thinking maybe he was hoping, that's a transport to the spice mines, and dang it, I hope Chewie's not on that because then I'd be too late. But it could mean a lot of different things. But yeah, I love that. And that shot on the day, we almost didn't have it. And we said, okay, we can get away, because it was kind of like we were just trying to make a film. You know how it is. Like when you're just needing to do something, you're like, oh gosh, we could do without it, but it'd be brilliant if we had it.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. We were like, sweet, we got it in. And we had been filming all day other seenes, and we had little light left. And our DP was like, let's go. We have time. Get in the truck. Let's go. Just small crew. We're going to capture this. No lighting. That was just outside light. Nothing else. And we got, that was a Revenant shot, if you will. And yeah, we shot it all in like less than 15 minutes. I mean, we made a little fire, got them all set, went through, okay, just go through something, and we filmed it, we caught it, and it caught exactly what you described, and a really fun, deeper little moment with Harn.
Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. See, I mean, like, it was such an authentic fan film. Like, you nailed everything from Han's costume to the aliens, little Easter egg there with C-3PO, Red. Was there any kind of budget restraints on kind of the costumes, the props, anything? Or did you guys just go, we want everything authentic. We don't want, mediocre.
Yeah, we did. Even when we couldn't afford it, we were like, no, we want the best. And so it's just like slapping the laws around, we were like, no, we want it. And fortunately, everything played well, because we had brilliant cosplayers who Bernie Bregman, the guy who plays a version of Dash Rendar, but we wouldn't want to say it because we just we want this to fit into ambiguous, universe.
Yeah.
So we tried to stay away from actual names of anything, and we imagined it as Kessel, but we didn't want to say it.
It was.
Yeah, and because if they make the 2018 one and it contradicts it, we'd be like, oh, dang. But so I'm really happy with that. But yeah, we had these cosplayers that were brought on with Bernie Bregman, who played that Dash Rendar kind of guy, and they are so professional. He actually helped us get our Chewbacca. They are so screen accurate and amazing, and of course they're some of the best people to work with.
Oh, they are.
They have this true passion and fun behind it, and again, we were able to just pay them for their days of work, and they said, "Don't worry, we'll bring the rest." They've got the outfits, they've got the real deal, and they showed up and just really wowed us and brought so much production value to it. It's beautiful when people say, "Oh, I'm giving 110% too." I see you guys doing your thing. We're game on, and it really it does. It's so cool to see all of that come together, and it pays off, because then we all celebrate something even better, together.
Oh yeah, something that you want to make so authentic and so on point. Like you said, for you as a fan, as for all the fans around the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that as strange as it sounds, a fan can. Anybody who doesn't even watch it or put money towards it or anything, somebody who's watching it almost feels proud of it too. Like, yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan too. I'm proud of that fan film, and proud to be a part of this, thing that other people find so important to celebrate, and meaning. I just love it.
Oh, I mean, you're so enthusiastic about it, which I love, and I'm hoping with how the Chewie and Han conversation went at the end, there's going to be some kind of sequel. The Millennium Falcon was mentioned, and the fanboy in me was just like, please, Jamie, just do it. Like, what money do you need? I'll tell you what. Here's my wallet, Jamie. Now, take what one do you want? What card? And let's make this film. You know. So.
Yes, I want to. Especially after getting the response like yours and like, you know, many others on the YouTube and Facebook and comments and stuff. I'm really glad that a lot of people love that, you know, maybe later stuff, because that did kind of open it up as a possible, you know, sequel kind of thing, and a part 2 or whatever. And that was a big, it's hard to say complaint, but that was one of the bigger criticisms, but a positive criticism in the scheme of things, that, hey, it was too short. We want to see that.
Yeah.
You know, we want to show it to us. So that worked out well. And if this thing hits, in my mind, if this thing hits 1 million views in the next few months, which it might be on track for, then I would love to consider getting the guys together and filming a part 2 of possibly getting the Millennium Falcon back.
That would be absolutely awesome. I tell you, right, where do I audition first? Where do I audition first? Can I be in it?
Well, I've got a few sides right here. We'll go for it right now.
I mean...
No, but I think it would be a blast, especially because you don't know until you do it on the days, but the Han and Chewie, I think, really worked. I think we really sold the whole relationship between them, and I would love to see more of now the two of them together doing a mission kind of thing or whatever.
You did. I mean, you did. The bromance was still there. You kind of knew, oh yeah, it's Han and Chewie, but the bromance was still there. It's really hard, I think, to kind of capture something like that, especially when you got a character who's so many foot high, dressed up, all furry, and all really he does is just kind of, you know, raw.
Which on the day he didn't.
No.
You know. No, because we can't. It was for sound. We would have to do it later to dub in the roar. So, you know, when I'm talking to him, all I'm getting back is,
yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever, Chewie.
I mean, you did pull off the Harrison Ford moment where, you know, like, in all his films, he'll be having this major fight with a character. The character will be on top, getting the better of him, and he's still got that moment where he can just pull aside and be like, "Yeah, well, Chewie, you know, you've still got, you know, just point it anywhere, you know." And you pulled that off absolutely to the T, where I was just like, "Yeah, like the bravo, go, that's it, let's go on, man."
Yeah. That was fun. And that was another fun thing, you know, trying to find the balance of how much Harrison Ford or how to get it authentic. You know, with playing it Harrison Han, but being honest with your delivery and not too hammy with the impression, you know, and trying to keep it within that tone of the film. And I think it worked.
Oh, it did. It absolutely worked. And I mean, look, you're not just a guy that does YouTube shorts. You are an impressionist as well. I mean, was there any conversations that you had with the team where you were just like, do I just do like Harrison throughout the film, or should I just be straight up Jamie and try and be the character I want to portray?
Yeah, no, we always leaned with try to go some Harrison, you know, try to go with the familiar Han, but I was very adamant about not wanting to go too far and be doing a hammed up impression to where it became more of a parody film than a authentic. It could have been an actual adventure within the movie universe. I wanted to give an honest portrayal of a young Harrison Ford, not a actual impression. And yeah, that was tough. And of course, it was tough keeping other impressions out because people are used to the other impressions and things like Robin Williams. It's tough to kind of make sure that doesn't leak out, which it does if you look close. It's going to be hard not to see it, but for the most part, I think we stayed in that Han Solo realm that we know, the Harrison Ford one.
Oh, you absolutely did, and I mean, some of the comments on the YouTube were saying, oh, there was a bit of Robin come out, there was a bit of Harrison come out, and all little bits like that. That kind of, you were kind of like, well, yeah, but he is an impressionist, so they're going to leak out at some point. But I mean, your rendition of Han Solo was what I expected. You know what I mean? It was something different, and I loved it. It was the correct portrayal. Another thing, the Han Solo movie is obviously going in full effect now. They've cast, and I've seen comments on the fan page and stuff like that for the Han Solo film, and on Twitter saying, "Why didn't you cast Jamie Costa?" Is that flattering? Is that flattering for you?
What's that?
Is that flattering for you?
It's very flattering. I mean, that's a huge compliment. I'll take that any day. Yeah. But I think they're going to do a fine job. I think all those comments will go away when we see this good actor. I mean, this guy's a solid actor. And Hollywood, as we saw with Rogue One especially, they can do whatever they want. Yeah, they can make him look like Harrison Ford if they want.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want. I think we'll have a great time with it. I think they made the good decision. I think they know what they're doing. I probably have no place, as much as I would love to, as much as I love to imagine it. I think I have some work to do before I would be confident in myself as an actor to portray him at that level. So I think they did really a good job. I saw him in that Coen Brothers movie, Hail Caesar, and I think he's good. I think he's a good actor, and I think he's going to have fun with it. And I think we're all going to really love it.
Oh, I mean, as a Star Wars fan, I'm going to love anything they bring out at the moment because they know. I think they know as well. The same with the Marvel films, because obviously Disney have got hands in both. I think they now know to connect with fans and find out what fans want. And they did with Rogue One. They did to a degree with some bits of Episode 7. And to be fair, I think it's in good hands going forward into the future. I don't know what you feel about that, but I feel it is.
I feel the same way. I feel like Episode 7. There was things I loved about it, but there was things I was like, come on, where do we go from there? You blew up 5 planets. What do we,
You just destroyed half the universe. What are we going to do next?
Yeah, come on. We gotta and we didn't even care about anybody on those planets. We were like, all right.
Yeah.
And anyways, but there was things I loved about Force Awakens, but Rogue One brought me back to believing, okay, you guys, you do your thing.
Yeah, that's it.
I love it. It's so good.
Keep treating us, Disney. Keep treating us, LucasArts. So you're gonna nail it.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the IMDb. Like, you're on there now. Yeah, with the Smugglers Trade, which is absolutely awesome. I see that today on, I think it was the Smugglers Trade fan page on FB, which was brilliant to see.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like a kind of achievement for you to get that short onto IMDb? Or are you kind of just like, I really just want this piece of art to do well?
Both. I mean, that's just a bonus. I don't even know who put it. I was wanting to do it at, I talked about it with the other producers and stuff. Eventually we were wanting to try to push it onto IMDb, try to get it on there somehow. But none of us even did all that, so we're kind of pleasantly surprised that it showed up on there, because we went looking through and we're like, man, somebody actually punched in the credits too. You know, there's a lot of people that got their credit in, and I was like, all right, that looks good.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to do anything. I was like, all right, I'll take that any day. But yeah, that's an achievement and a nice cherry on top. But yeah, the biggest thing is it's a joy to see a lot of people enjoy an art you put a lot of time and effort into. But also, it's really just awesome when people like yourself, who really just love Star Wars, appreciate it, and they go, hell yeah, you know, that's awesome. You know, like, I would love it. You know, I'm pumped that you guys did it, and it gets people just enjoying what we all enjoy more, and get us. And that's a lot of what I do with impressions and stuff. Anyways, I don't even. This is sad. I don't even consider myself really an impressionist as much, because it's really just a joy, a celebration, expression of these characters and movie franchises I love, and I just kind of want to recreate them and recreate moments and share them and celebrate with folks, and, you know, quote the movies and stuff. But yeah, you know, taking it a step further with this kind of fan film, and, you know, taking, you know, your acting and your producing abilities, and trying to up it and bring a higher quality content piece with all that embedded. That's where it's really fun. And yeah, I mean, the joy is seeing a lot of folks like yourself just appreciate it, sit back, watch it, and go, hell yeah, I love Star Wars.
Yeah, I love that. Boom. Yeah. Oh, Jamie, well,
yeah.
I mean, let's come away from that now. Let's talk about what's next, because I said about a sequel. I'd love to see a sequel to it. Like you said, if it hits 1 million, you'll consider it. I think you'll actually do it, to be quite fair. So, what's next, Jamie? Tell us what's in the pipeline.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a Legend of Zelda fan film.
Did he just say that, Dale? Really? Are you really going to say Legend of Zelda's fan film? Really? Is that where you want to take this next?
Let's just say we're already a draft and a half in, and it's pretty cool. And I'm pumped, maybe more, about doing this one than I was for Han Solo.
Wow. So are you a massive Zelda fan then, I take it? Massive?
I love Zelda. I've always wanted to see it, you know, on film, and just a good, you know, narrative brought from the games, put on film or on screen somehow. And, you know, there's some fan films out there, but again, you know, we wanted to take it to the next level of storytelling and quality, and that's what we're doing.
Oh, wow. So I can imagine it now. Are you going to go for the Indiegogo route as well with this to try and get funding?
Yes, probably. We'll have to play it a little safe, because I think you know, Lucasfilm is all about, make a fan film if you stay within parameters. You know, like, you can't raise $2 million and make a fan film. You know, they're going to be like, really? You know? But with Zelda, you know, Nintendo usually has a tighter grip on that stuff. So we'll have to be a little more careful, I think, you know, but you know, there's stuff out there. I don't think we'll get in trouble.
I mean, are you gonna follow maybe some of the game plots, or are you actually going to be like a standalone kind of story?
It will be a standalone, but it will pull on multiple games, story, and things we know about him and within that world.
It sounds so exciting. 13. It'll probably go on for more than 30 minutes. Or are you going to try and keep the time frame the same?
I'd like to keep it closer. Yeah, I'd like to go a little longer than we did for this Han Solo one, but probably not too much longer. But within probably that 15 to 30 minute, realm. But things could change. We might could find something that works that goes 30 minutes or longer, or probably might even end up right at the same as the Han Solo, like 13 to 15. Yeah. But it depends on what we land with, what we think is the best story, to tell.
Oh wow, it's exciting stuff, Jamie. I can't wait. To be fair, I just can't wait. And also the test. I reckon you'll do a test footage as well, just to tease the fans, because I know that's what you're like. You'll tease us.
I am a teaser, aren't I? Yeah. I like to tease. Yes, we'll probably have some test footage and pictures.
Oh, he's just dropping them here, isn't he? Dropping them left, right, and centre. I love it, Jamie. So I'm looking forward to that. Legend of Zelda is going to be the next one. I'm buzzing. It's going to be so good. So let's go on to impressions, because most of your fan base, I think, as well, really love your impressions.
Yes.
Give me your top 3 impressions that you love to do.
Oh, man. Well, I love George W. Bush, because you can't go wrong. You can say any quote, and it's all right. It's God bless the United States of Americans, all of them. I do like. Let's see. I love Captain Jack Sparrow. Right. Welcome to the Caribbean. Then, have you seen that new Star Wars movie, Smugglers Trade? I can tell them a little bit about smuggling. Sorry. I do. Obviously, I love Robin Williams. Yeah! Good morning, UK! We're back.
I love it, Jamie. I absolutely love it. I've got one thing here. Over here, on a radio show over here, a radio station, they do dramatic readings. Now, today's one on the radio, on BBC Radio 1, should I just say, they had Liam Neeson dramatically reading A Night Before Christmas. Right? So, if you could you do a dramatic reading of Jingle Bells in Harrison Ford?
Do the whole thing?
Go halfway. Do as much as what you feel you could do.
Jingle bells. Jingle bells. Jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh.
Oh, Jamie, knock that one out of the park. Brilliant, Jamie. Thank you very much for doing that. That was awesome. But that's the thing about your impressions as well. It's not just the voice, it's the mannerisms. And that's what I think people connect with the most. And that was absolutely hands down my best moment of Christmas 2016 so far.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, man. So, are you looking forward to Christmas? Is everything sorted for you? You know where you're going? You know what you're doing? You've done your Christmas shopping?
I got a few more gifts to get. But, for the most part, I have done my Christmas shopping. I am going to be in La La Land here in Los Angeles for Christmas, so it'll be a nice warm change-up. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, and it's pretty cold over there right now, so it'll be nice to kind of be warm over here while that's happening.
Nice. Well, we're going to come to the end. I hope and pray the gods at MCM Comic Con bring you to one of our cons, because I would love to get you up on the con stage. That'd be absolutely amazing. You said as well you're going to be over as well soon to the UK. What are you doing there?
Yeah, it's very likely as of this morning.
Oh, nice. So we can see more Jamie Costa coming over to the UK to be doing bits and bobs as well as other stuff he's doing in LA, which is absolutely amazing. Jamie, thank you very, very much for your time. I know you're a busy man. Thank you very much for talking to us about Han, about your impressions, about Star Wars. Absolutely amazing. There's nothing more I can say. I could talk to you for hours, but...
It's been a pleasure, man.
Damn it!
I love chatting. You know, who doesn't want to chat about Star Wars? I mean,
who don't? I mean, if I'd walked into a bar and was like, "Do you want to talk about Star Wars?" and they turned around to me and was like, "Not really," I'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm out of this bar now, straight off."
Yeah. I need to. Where's that cantina?
Yeah, that's it. Wicked. Well, thank you very much, Jamie. You're an absolute legend. Guys, go and check out the Han Solo short, A Smuggler's Trade. Where can we find it, Jamie?
You can find it on YouTube. I think if you just type it in, you should be able to run into it. And Google it up. And I think it's on Facebook as well. We have a page on there if you want to see. We're going to be releasing some behind-the-scenes stuff in the coming weeks. So if you want to see how it was made and the process, kind of, because the page is really nice to watch as almost a journal of where we started and then where we ended.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to look through that. And then, it's all up there on the internets.
Interweb.
Interwebs.
Yeah. And whereabouts can we find you on social media? Can you give us a couple of handles? Your Twitter, your Facebook?
So I'm on Twitter as Costa James. I'm on Instagram as Jamie Costa, all one. Facebook, Jamie Costa, I guess, wherever.
So basically, it's Jamie Costa.
And YouTube, of course.
So, well, thank you very much. Have you got a parting kind of quote for us before we leave here for all the Comic-Con fans over here?
Do I have a what?
Any quote you want to give us, or you want to say anything to the fans of Comic-Con?
Gosh, I wish I had a
on the spot.
The Lord of the Rings quote. I whatever that one is. Whatever. What's the one that Gandalf says? He's like, "That is not for us to decide." You know, whatever. What is it? It's
that's a good quote. Oh my god, even I can remember that, but not all of it. Dale.
No, I'm gonna say. I've got it. I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, so go for it. Hold on, we're gonna go with this final thought from Jamie because this is gonna be epic. So we've touched on A Smuggler's Trade, guys. We've touched on Star Wars. Remember, you can go right back to the beginning. Press that subscribe button on our channel, on Jamie's channel. And we are going to have some fun, all right? With notification buttons on both. So when that Legends of Zelda comes up, you're going to absolutely just get that straight into your mailbox. And I think as Jamie found it.
I wish it need not have happened in my time, said Frodo. So do I. And so do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us.
Jamie Costa, everyone! Thank you very much, Jamie. Hope you have a great Christmas, sir, and I hope to see you on my Comic-Con buzz stage next year, man.
Good luck, kid. You're going to need it.
Thank you, dude. See you soon.
Peace, brother.
Peace, my man.